Little boxes on the...
The Wizard of Oz is one of the most God-hating movies that there is.
I
was about to say you're starting to sound like Hal dying in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's how you sound. Dave, don't.
I'm sorry, West. I can't do that, West.
So
have you seen the trailer for Branded yet?
Hold on, I will.
You seriously sound like Stephen Hawking. It's pretty impressive. No offense to Stephen Hawking. He's a fantastic.
Baby. No, but the cover art looks awesome.
Okay, well, before you watch it, let me give you a quick rundown on what I know about Branded. I heard about Branded that was going to be this weird sci-fi.
Why is Neo on the cover?
It's not Neo. It's some random white dude.
It looks like Neo with a gun and an axe. Just saying. Anyway, go.
Although essentially it's the same, I guess, type of Messiah story as Neo. If you want to go that route, it kind of looks that way. No, I heard about it a while back, and about there's going to be this like sci-fi thriller type thing about branding and about controlling people through like brands and stuff. And I was like, okay, that'll be interesting. And the trailer's just like, what? I mean, the movie could end up being absolute crap, but the trailer actually looks like it could be pretty cool, especially if you watch trailer 2. If you go to Apple trailers and look it up, they have trailer 1 and trailer 2. I didn't watch the one that was just labeled as a clip. Trailer 2 starts off as like a fake McDonald's type commercial with like a fat chick and a fat dude selling her the burger, and
yeah,
it's great. It's great. And at the end of that trailer, they go through a whole bunch of the different like retconned brand logos that they use in the movie. I guess like one of them looks like the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy, and yeah, it's good stuff. I think I figured out something. I think I figured out something that might help. I'm gonna change.
What's that?
I'm gonna see if there's a way to change the video quality. Well, no, it looks like I can just change from fast connection to slow connection, and I don't know what that does. Oh, hey, my phone just beeped. Thankfully, I have some to buy, thanks to my stamps. You're frozen again. That's awesome.
Continuing to play. So, yay Time Warner. Fuck them. So, you were talking about what? Movie. Branded.
Yeah, Branded. No, it's like it. I don't know how much of it you caught before you cut out, but like the trailer, if you get a chance to watch it, really, it's kind of cool. I mean, the movie could be absolute crap. It has like no one super big in the main character type roles. Like
I misspelled again.
Lily Sobieski, or however the hell you pronounce her name. I've never actually known. But you know, that chick that's been in movies. She I guess plays like the love interest. It looks like. Max von Sydow plays some kind of part in it. But I mean, it looks kind of like a lower budget sci-fi movie, but it's definitely cool. It looks like when The Matrix came out. You know how when The Matrix came out, it was this movie that was
awesome?
it was completely different from like most of the sci-fi that had come out, you know, around then. This looks like it has the potential to do that. I mean, it's still touching on like very Matrix ideas that like your perception of reality isn't what's really reality. Uh, but it also looks like it kind of has a hint of They Live, where like everyone thinks they're seeing everything cool, and then Rowdy Roddy Piper puts the 3D glasses on and he can see the aliens and the crazy shit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of has like it smacks of that a little bit too. And I had been saying that they needed to remake They Live, especially with like the rise in them wanting to do movies in 3D. Like you could have a cool gimmicky 3D movie with They Live, where like part of the movie you wear the glasses and part you don't, or something. Uh,
God damn it! Go.
but branded, it looks like it could be cool. Cloud Atlas looks like it could be pretty cool too.
Cloud Atlas looks amazing. I don't know what that shit is. I don't care
I
what
don't
it
think
is.
anybody knows what it is. Uh,
Do you think the writer might have figured it out?
Probably at some point when he put the opium pipe down. Uh,
Who wrote that? Wait, did
I really want to
Requiem for
fucking
a
see.
Dream Dude write that?
I don't know who wrote it. I think it's based off a book. I honestly don't know without having to research it. All I know is the Wachowskis, I think, are the ones doing it, which, Matrix,
They're
so
not
go,
bad.
go. Uh,
Then they'll do a good job.
but what I really want to fucking see is Looper. Bruce Willis,
Looper's
Bruce
a
Willis,
really cool concept.
Bruce Willis as future Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Enough fucking said.
I mean,
Just saying.
is it just me, or are they trying to make Jordan fucking Levitt, or what's his name again?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt a superstar, and no movie actually makes him look like a superstar at
Well,
all?
I think he comes off as a pretty decent star. I mean,
No,
Batman,
I think he's great, but
500 Days of Summer, he was a good leading person in. I mean, you can't really say G.I. Joe because he's in like a mask half that movie.
50-50,
Yeah, 50-50.
like
Shit.
the Courier movie actually got okay reviews, and it's about a fucking courier.
It's the movie reviews for that were weird. When I first heard the concept and first saw like the very very bare bones trailers they had like last year, I was interested. I was like, man, this looks like a type of subject matter we haven't really touched on recently,
Well,
so it could be cool. Then a whole bunch of reviews came out that basically said,
storyline got turned.
well, yeah, well, I mean, but it looks like I got a whole bunch of reviews on places I normally go that was like, oh man, this is mediocre, it sucks. But then I read one review that was like, you need to see this movie because it's unlike anything else. I think I'm, based on my initial response to the movie before the reviews and based on the trailers and what I knew about it, I think I'm more inclined to agree with that one good review than the like 20 bad ones I read.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still going to watch it, but I did kind of have my hopes dashed a little bit by the really bad reviews I read on the places I normally go.
What it looked like to me from the initial start, especially with the way that his outfit is put together, is it looks like they tried to do an Infamous story, and they never were able to procure the rights from the Infamous video game series.
I don't think that's it at all. I mean, it's a basic.
Guy's a
It's a.
courier from Infamous.
I mean, but it's not about that though. It's
And
about.
it's about him picking up a package that other people want.
Yeah, but that's
Same star.
You know what that's called in movies though, right? It's called a MacGuffin when you pick up a package or you have something on you that you don't really know what the importance of it is. It's like North by Northwest, the old Hitchcock movie where he's supposed to have a microfiche on him and he doesn't. You never find out what it is. He's just being chased for it. That's essentially. I mean, it's a very old concept in film. I don't think they were trying to do Infamous. I think they were just trying to do a good MacGuffin
I see too
film.
many connections. Don't get me wrong, no superpowers, so maybe they get a budget for superpowers to rework the entire story. Wow, that video is all fucked up.
Are you watching it?
Well, yeah, when I speak, it goes over to me, and I'm just like, oh! And then it speeds up for a second, and I move as normal, and then it slows way down. But as long as the conversation is still good, I guess we're fine. Fuck the video. Just saying.
Oh, hey, happy anniversary. On September 8th, 2011, 1 year ago tomorrow.
Are you on Facebook?
No, I'm on Google Plus.
Oh.
One year ago tomorrow, the American Jobs Act was presented, and Republicans have managed to block it for 1 year. Go Republicans!
I thought you were talking about mine and Teresa's anniversary, which is tomorrow.
Oh, well, happy anniversary there, too. Mazel tov.
I forget. Did you ever like hoppy beers at all? Ever?
Give me some examples that I might have tried.
Heineken, but that's not quite right. That's more of a caustic, but it's got a little bit of a hoppy taste to it. Not so much though.
Heineken's alright. I don't love it.
I can't think of anything you could have gotten in town that would have been hoppy. I mean, the domestic section is what those towns carry. I mean, no Newcastle. I don't know. Anyway, if you get a chance to try Laughing Skull, you might like it.
When we talk, we jump around from crazy to crazy.
Trust me.
Continuing to play your favorite music.
DC's doing their Justice League, the same way Marvel did the Avengers. They're gonna start a bunch of franchises and then build the Justice League movie.
That would be great, except for the fact that DC puts out shit movies. With like the exception of the new Batman trilogy, name a single good DC movie that everyone else thinks is good. I mean, I'll defend Superman Returns because I liked it, but no one else did. So I can't even like offer that as an example of a good movie because that's me saying it's good, but everyone else that watched it saying it was utter shit. So
here's my problem with
let's see, there was Green Shit Turd. I mean Green Lantern.
I kind of like Green Lantern.
That movie was fucking terrible, man.
I don't know shit about Green Lantern.
It was fucking terrible. Like, not only was it, if you're just watching it and know nothing about Green Lantern, it's like the most. No. I wonder what's gonna happen. It's the most boring fucking movie ever.
Don't get me wrong. That was structured to make toys. That's what that was built as.
2, they completely butt-fucked the Parallax story in that. And 3, I like Ryan Reynolds. I'm not bashing Ryan Reynolds, but he's a fucking terrible Hal Jordan. You don't hire Ryan Reynolds to play Hal Jordan. And
you hire Ryan Reynolds to play fucking Deadpool, and he's awesome until they turn him into Baraka.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was. Oh, that reminds me of a good idea for a shirt, but I'll get back to that. But no, fuck it. And the worst part about that Green Shit Turd movie is that they've even started writing him like that. Like, if you pick up the new Justice League that they did with the new 52, they've started writing him as this smarmy little, I'm funny, and you're just like, what the fuck, really? You're gonna ruin Hal Jordan because of that shit-awful movie? Really? God damn. I mean, the way that movie treats some of the best storylines in Green Lantern is atrocious. The Parallax story that they wrote for Rebirth was phenomenal. That movie wrecks that shit. The explanation for Sinestro deciding to go evil and turn yellow, where the fuck was that? He just puts the ring on. No explanation. Just, I'm Sinestro now. Like, what? That movie was pathetic. It was pathetically bad, and it came out after the new Batman, so they have no excuse. Like,
right.
The new Batmans, you should look at those as like the model for how to treat your shit right. And hopefully the Man of Steel will be okay, but I'm not even banking on that, like, because that's Zack Snyder, and Zack Snyder's like very hit and miss. It definitely miss with comics. I know I'm in the minority, but I just hated some of the things he did with the Watchmen. I liked seeing it on the screen, but I hated some of the things he did with the story. Oh, but back to my good idea for a shirt, because you mentioned Baraka. That's what reminded me. You know how people do those mashup shirts all the time? Like, I have one that's got C-3PO and R2-D2, except they look kind of like a Cyberman and a Dalek from Doctor Who. You could totally do... Are you even still there?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
You could totally do... Because your video cut out. You could totally do, like, take Mr. T from the A-Team, his character B.A. Baracus, and give him arm blades, and he could be B.A. Baraka. Just like mash him up with Baraka from Mortal Kombat. I thought that would be kind of funny. You could do that.
Well,
that's a free idea from here to you, West. That's free.
Everything that comes from here to the world is free in my head.
Those douchebaggy stickers people buy at like Hallmark or where the fuck ever that have like mom and dad and like the little kids and like the dog and the cat and the shit like that.
Yeah.
In the event of the zombie apocalypse, wouldn't you like to be prepared? You know how World War II bombers used to have like the stamps of the planes with the X's over them that they had shot down?
Mm-hmm.
Or like World War I, World War II, whatever they did that in. It's probably World War I now that I think about it.
Right.
Because the Red Baron comes to mind. Get zombie
ADD.
stickers. Get zombie stickers like that with X's over them that you can say you've killed zombies with your car. I think that's way cooler than the family stickers.
And they should vary in size.
Yeah, like you have zombie cat, zombie dog, zombie whatever the fuck you want up there.
Yeah. Fat zombies, skinny zombies, headless zombies, torso zombies.
Zombie on a bike, like, you know.
Running zombies, crawling zombies. Fucking zombies. Hey, is it considered necrophilia if a person fucks a zombie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they still qualify as... Well, they're undead. They're not really dead. They're undead.
What about
because they bring that up in the movie Fido. His little zombie slave is a chick.
What about 30 days later? Is that right?
You mean 30 days a night?
No,
vampires, or 28 days later.
28 days later. Shit.
Okay, you were marrying two movies there. I couldn't tell which one you wanted to talk about.
Hey, at least the kind of undead thing going on. Do those consider as undead?
Technically, vampires are undead. Zombies are undead.
No.
Well, in 28 Days Later, they're not undead. They have like a weird, fucked up form of rabies that affects humans.
Well,
and eventually they starve to death.
Doesn't that make them zombies?
Well, I mean, there's zombies in like a mental state, but not zombies as in undead zombies, because the ones in 28 Days Later do die of starvation when they don't eat.
You have to be undead to be a zombie. You have to be undead to be a zombie.
I would say if you want to stick
worms.
I want to say if you want to stick to traditional use of the word zombie, yes, you have to be undead.
So that means they can only be raised by magic.
Danny Boyle's movie, although it is a zombie movie, like I'll say that he kind of pretty much for his purposes redefined what a zombie is, but I think it would be lame if everyone started using that.
Well, what about in the case
it doesn't have to be magic either. It can be like viruses and chemicals and shit.
But the virus would have to kill you and then bring you back, correct?
Or it could just animate dead flesh. You could find a dead body, like in the Resident Evil series. I'm pretty sure people were just rising out of graves because the chemicals got into the groundwater, and it was just animating corpses. Although it was always surprising to me that you'd be in a graveyard and they would start crawling out of the grave and they all look like they were fresh. I'm pretty sure some of those people wouldn't look fresh. Some of them would be like bones. In which case they probably shouldn't animate.
By the way, so just for your note. Anyway, no, I agree.
Well, a human without an opinion is like a human without an asshole.
And then we call them Republicans.
No, they have assholes, and they usually talk out of them.
But they don't have opinions.
No, they have opinions. They're just usually wrong. Oh, it's great. There's the Minnesota Vikings punter, Chris Kluwe, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. He wrote a letter to some kind of politician, bashing the dude because a player for the Ravens, I think, came out as saying that he was for like marriage equality for gays, and this politician guy that's in the state started bashing him and saying that the Ravens didn't want to let him say, or ought not to let him say that and espouse his opinion or whatever. But this guy wrote like a letter back, and it's one of the funniest letters ever. Like one of the quotes from his letter is, "They won't magically turn you into a lustful cock monster."
Wow!
Like, yes,
Yes!
that's awesome.
Oh, that makes me happy on the inside. It makes me rub
He's
my
like,
nipple a little bit.
okay, here it goes. Here's another quote that was great. He's like, "It baffles me that a man such as yourself, a man who relies on that same First Amendment to pursue your own religious studies without fear of persecution from the state, could somehow justify stifling another person's right to speech. To call that hypocritical would be to do a disservice to the word. Mind-fucking obscenely hypocritical starts to approach it a little bit." I was like, "Blah, that's awesome."
Okay, question. What would your characters be for the Justice League if you were to cast the characters for the Justice League?
Um, You mean like what characters would I use, or what
Yeah,
actors would I cast in the traditional
no,
roles?
fuck the actors. Just what characters would you use to create the beginning Justice League?
As much as I would not like to use Batman and Superman because I feel like they're over fucking done at this point, um, you kinda have to have them.
Well, yeah, they're part of the beginning, but I could get rid of Superman and or Batman as long as Wonder Woman's there.
Yeah, they're the big three though. You need those. Um, I don't know. I would go pretty classic with it. I would have Green Lantern, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. I would have a big movie because I mean that's what made the Avengers good. The Avengers was full of big personality. I mean, it's debatable whether Black Widow and Hawkeye got to shine as much in that movie, but
I loved how well they did.
they did good for the time that they were given, and they both did good with the characters. I feel. Uh, but yeah, I think that's part of what made the Avengers work so well. You have Thor, you have Hulk, you have fucking Tony Stark who steals like every scene that he's in. Um, you have Captain America. I mean, you have Samuel fucking Jackson as Nick Fury. Like he's not Nick
Yeah.
Fury. He's Sam fucking Jackson.
I mean, you've got all those larger than life characters and all those larger than life actors playing them. Literally.
I think the problem you would have with a Justice League movie is that it's harder to make them comedic. It's harder to make Batman funny. It's harder to make Superman funny. It's harder
Batman,
to make Wonder
you
Woman
could make
funny.
funny.
That's why you need the Flash there for comedy. I mean, that's what made the
Definitely
cartoon
Flash.
decent because having him there he was the comic relief. I don't know which Green Lantern I would use. I liked that the cartoon used John Stewart Green Lantern. I liked him. He's one of the only other Green Lanterns I like besides Hal. Kyle Rayner's a pretty good Green Lantern, but I wouldn't use him unless you were going for like a younger Justice League movie or like a Teen Titans type movie. Just because he's so much newer than the other ones. Guy Gardner was a douche though. I would like not ever use Guy Gardner for anything.
Which one was the artist?
The artist was Kyle Rayner.
Yeah, he makes sense. I think if they used that character, that somebody in Hollywood or a couple of designers would have a blast with him.
At least I think his name's Kyle Rayner. Let me make sure I'm not fucking that up. Type into the Google bar. Let's see. Green Lantern Wikipedia. This ought to help. Yep, Kyle Rayner. Alan Scott, of course, being the original one, but he's the one that's not a part of the Green Lantern Corps. He's the one that gets his powers from a magic lantern. He's still called Green Lantern, but he's not a Green Lantern.
I wouldn't have in my. Do we want to go with a 5 list? A 5 list makes sense for a big movie. I wouldn't have Batman as part of the Justice League in mind. I would have definitely.
Batman is he's leave outable enough as long as you left like
Well,
Superman in.
there's two story arcs that I've read. One of them, he helps start the Justice League. The other one is the Justice League wants him, and he's just like, no.
Well,
But
it
he
appeared
goes to them when he needs them.
I didn't get to read too far into it, but the new Justice League, it kind of seems like more or less an accident. Like shit's going bad, Darkseid's invading, and they all just kind of come together. And the new Justice League is Batman, Superman, Hal Jordan, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the Flash and Cyborg.
hmm I wouldn't use Cyborg until after I did the Teen Titans.
Yeah, that would be my use of the character. But at least it's something new.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, at
No,
least they
no,
did
you're
something
right.
new with it for the comics. For a movie, no, though, I would definitely hold him out for Teen Titans.
I would,
Honestly, I think Teen Titans would be a better pick for them to do a movie
Yes!
anyway, because it's something that
Justice League sucks.
if you fuck it up, at least you've not fucked up your major properties.
Still, Justice League sucks. At least with the Teen Titans, if you do a build-up, you can do another Batman movie that explains Robin and he leaves, and you can either jump forward to where he becomes Nightwing or before he becomes Nightwing and he's still Robin. And then you have an alien to deal with, a crazy goth chick, and a robot dick. And a
Yeah.
guy who turns into any animal he wants.
Yeah, you could almost leave him out.
Well, he serves the purpose of Flash, but if it's written well, they kind
Yeah,
of all serve the same purpose.
You could totally use Kid Flash though,
Well,
and it
yeah,
would make for better cinema and
but
less
he'd be
CGI.
like 9.
I don't know.
And then again,
I would definitely use Aquaman because I think Aquaman's a character that's not been given enough justice, and the way they're writing him now in the comics, he's a fucking badass. He's hands down in the New 52, he's probably one of my favorite like rebooted characters.
someone really did some work then.
Well, I mean they beefed up his powers too, that doesn't hurt.
Did he have powers before? What, can he more intently talk to sea creatures?
He doesn't talk to him. That's a misconception because they don't have
Telepathically receives their.
they don't have brains that actually think in words. He can just simple commands and simple like telepathy with them.
So can he do it with a dramatic stance now? So it's
No,
like
he
dun-dun-dun!
has like strength. I mean he's not as strong as Superman, but he can like jump really far and he's pretty strong. They actually made his armor and weapons like good.
Wait, he had armor and weapons?
Yeah, that suit that he's wearing, it's not just a stupid orange suit, it's like scale armor.
Okay. Where did it come from? A mastodon?
No, it came from under the sea. It's like magical fucking Atlantean
Oh,
technology.
that's right. He is a.
He's the king of motherfucking Atlantis, and he's got his mer woman with him.
Wasn't Namor the same way?
Yeah, except Namor's lame. He goes around in a speedo and has wings on his feet.
He's a fucking mutant, dude.
Well, he's been written that way. At other points, I'm pretty sure
To
they've tried to say
explain
he was a
him.
god, and it just Namor's one of those characters I don't really like. I've never liked him. He is funny as hell in that newer Avengers run that Chris had. That was like it was written with the person that wrote that, I don't remember who wrote it, but it was hilarious. Like there's a panel where Bruce Banner looks at him, he's like, "So, how's that search for Nemo going? You found him yet?"
Shit!
And then there's a panel where he's like pointing at Bruce Banner and he's got a squinty face, but he's not saying anything. And then the next panel he's like, "I'd strike you dead where you stood if I knew what that meant."
Yes! I don't read enough comics. I rely on people who do read.
There are really good writers out there. The problem I have with comics is that so much of it smacks of fanfic, and I dislike fanfic. I mean, that's essentially what it is, because the writers now, they grow up as fans, they've read comics, so unless you're reading like a completely original comic that someone just like crapped out of their mind onto a page and it's awesome, like Walking Dead. If you're reading Superman or X-Men now, it's being written by someone who grew up with it or knows of it and is a fan. So it's essentially turned into glorified fanfic. They'll kill off characters they don't like. They'll resurrect characters they do like for all willy-nilly, and we can have the death and return of Superman to thank for that, because once they opened the Pandora's box of bringing people back to life, Marvel really DC did that, but Marvel's the one that was like, what? You can bring dead characters back? Let's bring all these characters we killed back for no reason. Like, some of them human. They don't have any kind of real, feasible, non-bullshit explanation how some of these characters came back to life.
Yeah.
At least Superman, at the end of the day, it still was kind of lame, but the way they explained it, you're not left saying, that doesn't make any sense. You have to just kind of shake your head and say, well, it sucks, but at least it makes sense.
I know you need to keep your franchises and stories going, and I like the idea of a bunch of people. It's one of the reasons why I'm a bigger fan of Hellboy, how the Hellboy story works more than most other comic book stories, is somebody created this idea and they wrote a story. And then somebody else came in and they said, or that person went to a bunch of other people and said, hey, here's the main roots of the character, now go write a story about him. Doesn't have to coincide at all. Just write a story about him, do whatever the fuck you want with him. That's brilliant. Or maybe that's just me, but just to have one person write their story and then have another person write their story and have another person write their story instead of building this ongoing story and story and story and story. I mean, they just killed Batman 2 years ago? The dude's been around.
I don't even keep track of that shit anymore, to be honest with you.
He has been around for longer than my dad's been alive. That's crazy. And the character's still going on. Like, they killed Captain America. At least they made him make sense. But then they gave the power, or the guys to Bucky, and they killed him. Like, he didn't even last.
Oh yeah, man, Bucky's died more times than Jesus has in Sunday school. I mean, that's what Bucky exists for. If there's a story and Bucky's in it, he's gonna fucking die. He's like a red shirt on Star Trek. That's just how it's gonna be. He has like the fucking Lazarus chamber stashed away somewhere.
Oh my god, that shit was great. I want a very decent Clayface story put into a video form.
There was a fan-made Batman movie that was really good that you should watch. I cannot remember what the fuck it was called. Hold on.
Quick thing. I'm gonna start reading my Turtles comics. I finally got my hands on it, #2. So not an original, unfortunately, but it's one of the newer remakes. So I'm gonna start reading through those. Do you want to know what's going on, or how our childhood is completely fucked?
How what now?
So I've got I finally got a hold of an actual Turtles #2. I'm gonna start reading them here shortly. There's a 6 I've got to get, and then I've got 1 through 10. Do you want to know how our childhood was completely fucked up by the '80s Turtles?
How's that?
Well, in issue 1 they kill Shredder. Like, Shredder dies in issue 1. Basically, the entire premise of the '80s is killed in issue 1 of the actual comics.
Hadn't thought of that.
Dimension X is still a big factor, and I know Krang comes in at some point, but, the first time I read that, I'm like, so where does this story go from here? Because I'm expecting, we're gonna get you, Shredder! And they never do. and then they go save April or something, because that's how it's built up in my head. I read through the book and I'm just like, Shredder dies? Oh, spoiler alert if anybody fucking cares. The book was written in 1984. Kiss my ass. I was born that year. Fuck you. I'm entitled.
Well, this does not appear to be it, but this is one people say is good too. Batman Puppet Master.
Did you ever watch Turtles in Time?
The third Ninja Turtle movie?
No, no. No, my fault. That's not right.
I
Not
was about to
Turtles.
say, because that movie was shit.
No, the Nickelodeon movie.
Well, the one just TMNT?
No, no, there's one after that.
Oh, no, I didn't watch that.
That one you need to watch. But no, it's very, very much. Fuck. You're looking for something. That means you stopped talking, and now I'm all fucked in my.
I'm trying to find that video I was telling you about. Or what it was called, the Batman fan film.
Oh.
Puppet Master looks to be pretty good, but that's not the one I was talking about.
Well, shoot it to me later on in an email if you find it.
I'm trying to find it right now, douche.
Look, goddammit! I will bitch slap you back to Washington, and then you will really be sad, won't you? Motherfucker.
That's not it. Batman Dead End is the really cool one that has
Turtles Forever.
predators and aliens.
Turtles for fucking ever is the name of that movie. Go watch that damn movie. It is worth your time. I do love that poster behind your head, by the way. Got the Dalek.
Oh yeah, the one from that's from an episode where they go back into World War II, and the Daleks are pretending to be robots built by this guy, and the guy turns out to be a robot that they built, but they're like pretending to help the British win the war, so they have like British flags and shit on them. It's funny. Like one of them's going around with a tray asking if people want tea. Except he's doing it in a Dalek voice. It's like, "Would you like some tea?" It's great. The poster is in that episode, and then I found it, and it's great. Reading more of that guy's letter. This is more of a personal quibble of mine, but why do you hate freedom? Why do you hate the fact that other people want a chance to live their lives and be happy even though they may believe in something different than you or act different than you? How does gay marriage in any way, shape, or form affect your life? If gay marriage becomes legal, are you worried that all of a sudden you'll start thinking about penis? Oh shit, gay marriage just passed. Gotta get me some of that hot dong action. Will all of your friends suddenly turn gay and refuse to come to your Sunday ticket grill outs? Unlikely, since gay people enjoy watching football too. I can assure you that gay people getting married will have zero effect on your life. They won't come into your house and steal your children. They won't magically turn you into a lustful cock monster. They won't even overthrow the government in an orgy of hedonistic debauchery because all of a sudden they have the same legal rights as the other 90% of our population. Rights like Social Security benefits, child care tax credits, family and medical leave to take care of loved ones, and COBRA health care for spouses and children. You know what having these rights will make gays? Full-fledged American citizens, just like everyone else, with the freedom to pursue happiness and all that entails. Do the civil rights struggles of the past 200 years mean absolutely nothing to you? In closing, I would like to say that I hope this letter, in some small way, causes you to reflect upon the magnitude of the colossal foot-and-mouth clusterfuck you so brazenly unleashed on a man whose only crime was speaking out for something he believed in. Best of luck in the next election. I'm fairly certain you might need it. P.S. I've also been vocal as hell about the issue of gay marriage, so you can take your "I know of no other NFL player who has done what Mr. Ayanbadeos is doing" and shove it in your closed-minded, totally lacking in empathy pie hole and choke on it. Asshole. I love how asshole is like a one-word sentence at the end of that. He's just like, he gave it its own sentence with a capital A.
Good.
That's probably the best thing I've ever read. Dude just like bitch slapped this guy. The problem is you can't. I've realized that George Carlin's wisdom still stands, and it's why we can't get anywhere as a society. Is because you can't argue with an idiot. They drag you down to their level, and then they beat you with their experience.
Nerd Math Podcast doesn't have an immediate connection on Google. Whoa!
Yay!
Nerd Math? Nerd Math. I like
All
Nerd
right.
It matches my attention span and the fact that for whatever reason I think I'm stronger at times than I necessarily am.
like in Grand Theft Auto 3 when you could pick up the pills and it like made you run in slow mo and you could like
Yes.
punch people and they go flying. Like
Did you know there's a spot in that game where you can climb a ladder? Do you remember where the strip club was where you kind of start the game?
Do what now?
Do you remember where you start the game?
In Grand Theft Auto 3?
Yep. Like behind
Shit,
that
I
strip
remember.
club?
Oh yeah, I remember
Okay,
now.
there's a building across the street with a fire escape. And before they built Grand Theft Auto as we know it now, you could go up that fire escape and none of the NPCs could follow you. So you could actually snipe from up there and never get shot.
Nice.
And no one
Until
could
they
kill
brought
you.
in the helicopters.
No, because the sniper rifle brings those bitches down quickly.
Fair enough.
I used to stand up, like when I was in a killing mood, I used to stand up there and just go, pew!
I remember the best thing I ever did in Grand Theft Auto 3 is somehow when the like FBI cars show up and it's got 4 FBI dudes, only one hopped out of the driver's side and I capped him and jumped in. So I was in the car with the other 3 FBI dudes driving around and I was like, I can never get out of this car because as soon as I stop it and get out, I'm going to be busted. It's like Aaron and I just like drove the car until it was beat to hell and was going to blow up. And then we hopped out of it. And then as soon as we hopped out, all 3 of the guys popped out and I was like, I was like, oh man.
This episode, I think the way I'm going to structure it is it's going to fade in and out and in and out. And then I'll send you, when I get something edited together, I might not get it done this weekend, but when I get it edited together, I'll send you a copy, see what you think. We'll call it episode 0, the beginning. Oh, wait, no, episode 00, not as bad as Phantom Menace.
This is very true. Oh shit. I forgot. New episode of Doctor Who tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that show restarted.
First
See,
episode last week was awesome.
I'm looking at our backgrounds. Your background has the Dalek poster and a TARDIS. And behind me, I have action figures and Ninja Turtles.
Well, and you know, almost 1,000 movies too, but you can't really see
Well,
those.
I mean, you can't not at this angle. But, yeah. Yeah.
I have email.
Hmm.
Oh, Amazon reminding me that the new Kindle family exists. I own a Kindle, assholes. I'm not one of those people that trades out something just because you made it 50% lighter.
Is there,
A, I
Is
don't
there
have
a-
the money, and B, it's stupid. It destroys the environment to buy a new fucking gadget every year just because they made it like 1% better.
do you want to try and record these on Sundays?
Sunday would feasibly be the best day.
Okay. And that way, if we add somebody on, that'll be recording day. What day do you want them to show up online? I feel like no
As soon as you
podcast
can go
shows up
through
on
and
Tuesday.
edit.
Well, I'm not going to edit. Like this one, I'm going to edit just because we have long pauses and gotta piece together what that first part was with this and blah blah blah. So I want to try and prevent that from the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But hopefully we won't have to do it, or if I do have to put two of these together, that's it, is I put two of them together and there'll be a little thing of, and we just had a technical difficulty. Hey, it could turn into a running gag until we figure out better recording software where, like, I should be using Audacity, but I cannot get the damn thing to work.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to work either, man. I don't know what it's something to do with, like, it will only record what I'm saying and not what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I know. And like the immediate fix is they just run a cable from the mic um to the speakers, but that's not how we're recording it because I'm doing a front end port and I just don't fucking know. And it might be just for the sheer fact that I'm not using a USB one.
I am using a USB headset, and it's
I
still.
don't know then. I
I
don't
don't
be
know.
honest.
It's something like having to single out incoming sound that the computer has to convert to either the speaker or the headphones. Like finding that where that's at and making Audacity capture that, and I have no idea how to make it do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Me neither.
oh, have you heard anything about the hackers who supposedly have Mitt Romney's tax returns?
No.
Um, apparently, some hackers say they got a hold of his tax returns and that they'll release them to the first person to pay them $1 million in bitcoins.
Coins.
Okay, bitcoins are something that well, I was gonna be nice, but fuck it. That crazy people use because they're so convinced that American currency is so shit that they would rather have digital little imaginary dollars. Um, crazy, really, really libertarian people and crazy super capitalists claim that bitcoins are the future. I don't see it, but anyway, that's what they want their money in, and supposedly Larry Flint is considering buying them. A guy that started Hustler, he's considering buying them for $1 million.
How? Oh, never mind. No, I know. I'm still no. I'm still lost on the Bitcoin part. No,
Oh
no.
yeah,
I
no,
know.
I've known about bitcoins for a while, and I'm still lost on them. So don't feel bad. Your lostness, it won't go away, Wes. Stop thinking about it because I promise you, it won't go away. It never at any time makes sense.
Right. Oh, okay. I'm confused
It's
now.
digital currency.
I
Really,
know.
people? Are we
I know.
that bankrupt? Like, I mean, I know the U.S. dollar isn't based on gold anymore, but fake
Right.
digital currency that a hacker can take from you, that's somehow your answer? Yeah. No, I'm going to go with no on that.
Yeah, I think I just shit myself a little bit.
But,
Huh.
maybe it's less traceable than them getting $1 million deposited in a bank account. I would hope so.
Well, you can't lose it
Otherwise,
in
they're
the
the worst
fire.
hackers ever. No, a bunch of people were saying, excuse me, a bunch of people were saying that it's not likely that they hacked the IRS and got, no, and smart people like me pointed out they wouldn't have to hack the IRS. They would just have to hack his accountant. Really, accountants keep a hold of that stuff too.
That's fucked up. Have you seen this thing? I guess it's trending on Google Plus with the shit. Hold on. Uh, when political conversations meet Star Wars. Have you seen?
Are you talking about the picture where they compared the speeches given at the conventions to Star Wars movies?
Yes.
Like Michelle Obama was New Hope, Clinton was
Yes.
Empire, which means he had the best one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Empire
Obama had
Strikes Back.
Obama was yeah, I said Empire, and
Oh yeah,
Obama
my
had
bad.
Return of the Jedi, and then all the Republican speeches were like the shitty prequels, and then Clint Eastwood had the had the Christmas special.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. That was great.
That was
Talk to a
lovely.
fucking chair, man. I used to like Clint Eastwood. I had respect for him, like as a person. I
I
mean,
have
I still like his movies and his acting, but
I have
as a person, he's just like bankrupted himself with me. Really, dude? And the worst part is in his speech he got things wrong and like was blaming Obama for shit that wasn't even his fault. He was like, "Oh, and you thought Afghanistan was a good idea? Hey, motherfucker, Bush put us in Afghanistan. It's
I
not like
I know.
what?" And then he said 23 million unemployed, which is a number that dumbasses still keep saying that we have 23 million unemployed. He lumped the number of unemployed, which is somewhere around 12 million, with the number of people that consider themselves underemployed and would want more hours. He lumped those two together and made it one number, which is disingenuous because there are really only 12 million unemployed uh, that have no work. So just like, what a dipshit. Talking to an empty chair. Like, I don't know how that
He's an
ever came out
old
as a good
man.
idea.
I think he just went senile and no one caught it because he's an actor.
Apparently.
Anyway.